Welcome to today's episode in our series of parts of self. Last week we discussed the critical part, and one of the parts that can really tag team with them is protector part. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yep.
So just some content warning, a touch on suicide, domestic violence and abuse, and how protector parts tag teaming with critical can end up doing some evil things. We also talk about how we're so defended and protected against each other and ways we can relax our protector parts.
Yep. It's a good discussion. We did give some spoilers for some shows. We talked about a few TV shows. I talked about a documentary I watched that had to do with murder or suicide. We're not sure. But that's right. Another thing that was in there. So tread lightly if that's delicate for you.
Okay, this way into your protector part. I'm always good with roping in more supernatural into what we talk about. Like Dean Winchester is actually a really good example of a protector.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which ties right in to what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
Wow. I'll have to keep watching it, and then I'll know a little bit more if you bring up more stuff, but I'm happy to bring that in more. I know Paul Rudd. I don't have to study up on him, but if we're going to talk about supernatural, too, I should probably study up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. At least the best episodes. There's so many good peppered throughout all the seasons.
Yeah.
My goodness. Anyway.
I suppose we should get to the task at hand.
We probably should. Yeah. So with just kind of what we're talking about here, protector parts in a lot of what we're saying here. Just going back to taking care of your mom the other day when she was sick. Of course, that was your protector part. Of course, your nurturing part, of course. But when you were thinking about your mom and like, she's not well, I need to get her to the hospital. What were your motivations, your instincts? What were you really thinking and wanting there?
I was, I was really wanting somebody else to take over because I didn't feel like I was equipped.
Oh, geez. Okay.
I was like, I'm not a nurse. I don't know what's going on here.
Yep.
I don't trust myself to do the right thing at every step. So I need to bring in a professional.
Yeah, for sure.
Is basically what I was thinking.
Just to make sure your mom was okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what protector parts will do too. They will delegate if they think they need to. Which is okay, because you're right, you're not a nurse. You weren't the medical professional who is going to help take care of that. Mm-hmm. And so that's what a lot of protector parts do. It's like, yeah, this is bigger than me, so I need to go find someone. I'm going to call 911. I need to call the fire department, that kind of stuff. That's why we have these services.
Yeah.
It's for protection.
They were so great, too, so.
Which is so good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Protector parts really want to protect from both real and perceived threats. So real threats, anything that's going to hurt or kill us or anything, people we love, animals, whatever. And then perceived threats is anything that's just going to make life harder. So it doesn't matter to your stress response if it's a real or perceived threat. It's going to do fight, flight, freeze, whatever, regardless. So if we're looking at just really black and white examples of what a protector part looks like, we can look at Terminator and T2. Not the first movie, the second one.
Okay.
Because in the first movie, he's trying to kill Sarah Connor. In the second movie, he's trying to protect John Connor at all costs.
Right.
And it's a very good one-track mind. I have to protect. And that's his primary main objective. And when he, achieves his objective, he's done. And he ends up, melting his chip in the lava or whatever. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, too.
Yeah. So he's a robot, of course.
Yeah.
And it's very black and white with the Terminator. So let me use a different character.
Okay.
I know you probably don't watch Bob's Burgers as much as Megan, your co-host on your other podcast, right?
Right. I've seen a few episodes and I do enjoy it. I just forget to go to it. Sometimes I'll put it on in the background, but I'm not always paying attention.
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
I do like it. I don't think to use it as my go-to, which I probably should.
It's such a good one. But
yeah.
That's me in cartoons, but whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a Thanksgiving episode. They do like different holiday episodes peppered in. So anyway, there's this one episode where the mayor is supposed to pardon a turkey, and the turkey is Drew P. Neck. And right? I know, it's pretty good. So they overhear the mayor's like spokeswoman talking about how she's got to take this turkey somewhere to get slaughtered or whatever. And then the Belcher kids are like, we can't do this. They just pardoned that turkey. And so they like steal the turkey and they try to go dump it off in the woods. But then there's some coyotes around. And then Louise, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And then all of a sudden she like jumps up and she's like, no, leave the turkey alone. And it's like, that's her protector part took over right there. She was trying to logic herself out of it. Just, it's okay. It's nature. But no, I got to protect True Peanut from the coyotes.
I love it.
Yeah. And somehow they protect Drew Peanut from the coyotes and get him out of there, which her protector part, did the right job. So here's another nuanced character, Dean Winchester from Supernatural. His primary main objective from when he was a little kid was protect my little brother Sam.
Yeah.
And we see so many different parts of Dean throughout the series, but that is the most consistent part of him, must protect Sam. Of course, they, get mad at each other, and his critical part's like, fuck you, at different times. And then he comes back around like, no, I got to protect my brother. So these are obvious examples. I don't know if you watch as many cooking shows as my husband and I do.
I watch all of them.
All of them.
Pretty
Have you
much.
been watching? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
I shouldn't say that. The competition shows.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I watch all of those.
Those are fun. Dinner Time Live with David Chang on Netflix. I don't know if you've been watching that one.
I have seen some, and I do love him. I've seen him on lots of shows.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. So watching the Dinner Time Live, he's interviewing his guests while he's cooking, but they're also interviewing him a little bit. And every time they give him a compliment, he's all like,
yeah,
like he shrugs it off.
Yeah.
And he's very good about deflecting any sort of praise or dismissing it. That's his protector part. We would say like that's his critical part, like, oh no, you're not true. But like that's really more his protector part. If I'm not accepting these compliments, then I don't have to live up to a certain standard. And, I'm expecting perfection for myself anyway. And if I'm not trying to reach your standard, then I don't have to fall so hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a very different roundabout kind of way protector part works there. This is where people tend to fall into more or less, is the more of the background kind of protector part. The more of the deflecting, the dismissing, I'm not going to accept this compliment because I don't believe it, because I don't want to live up to that standard to crash and fall.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Any thoughts there?
Well, I tend to do that as far as if anybody tries to give me praise or say something. I don't just say, oh, thank you.
Sure.
I go, it's no big deal, or whatever. And I try not to internalize it, even though I know that I probably should. But I didn't realize that I was doing that so that I didn't have to live up to it next time. But now that you say that makes a lot of sense for me personally.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I suppose that's my responsible part. Going easy there, Tiger. We don't want to get roped into anything here.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. Yeah. That's a really valid point, and I'm happy you brought that up, because it's usually the competent and consistent people at workplaces that tend to get promoted to shit positions that, oh, because you're good at this, you're going to be good at this. No, you're just taking advantage of me because I'm competent. So a lot of the time, not like I would do this because I just don't think I have the integrity to do that. Well, I mean, I have the integrity to not do this. So it's very easy to be like, oh, yeah, I'm incompetent, and pretend like you don't know what you're doing. Sandbagging or weaponized incompetence even. Yeah. So you don't have to get roped into certain things you don't want to do.
I've worked with a lot of people like that.
I bet you have. Do you have a story for me?
I can't think of anything in particular, just that a lot of people that I worked with are like, they would get mad at me for getting stuff done because they're like, you're making us look bad. I'm like, I'm not doing anything to you. You are not doing anything.
That's right.
That's on you. I'm going to do my job and do it well. But then you're right. What happens to me is I get roped into doing shit I didn't want to do.
That's right.
Not good at. Because I'm the only one that's willing to work.
And
I shouldn't say the only one, but...
One of the only ones.
One of the only ones in a group of people that could be given this task.
Yep.
I'm the only one that shows that I'll do what you tell me to do.
That's right. Yeah. And you're not receiving any extra compensation for these extra duties and descriptions, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Greg always tells me, you should just sandbag. Just sandbag. Well, I don't work for anyone right now, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm like, I got this done in this amount of time. And then, of course, yes, it is expected that I would get that done in that amount of time or faster next time.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. I have seen all of that happen at work firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too, of course.
Yeah.
There's people like that everywhere. And I can't necessarily blame them because it's their protector part keeping their, I don't know, their boundaries in a very roundabout, passive way. And a lot of time, protector parts want to be passive. They do because it's easier. You know, sometimes they will spring into action because they have to. So in addition to the pop culture references I gave about protector parts, anyone off the top of your head that you can think of that, protector part has been dominant, at least at some point?
I was going to say, because we briefly mentioned it before we started recording, X-Files. I feel like Scully maybe tried to protect David Duchovny. What the fuck was this?
Mulder.
In because she saw him as so fanciful and, magical thinking and all that. And she was like, come on, let's get back down to earth.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of feel like she did that for him a little. I think physically he did that for her.
Oh, yeah.
So they were probably doing that for each other. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, good example. I love that. Oh. You're absolutely right.
Ding, dang, I got one.
Perfect. So before I keep going with protector part, I have to do a quick recap of critical because critical works so much with protector part in so many ways we don't even realize at times. So just a quick recap. Our critical parts help determine what's right and what's wrong, our morals, our values, what's good and bad, our wants, our needs, and our likes and our dislikes along with kid part. In all of this comes our opinions as well from critical part. Our opinions. So offshooting from all of this is our attitudes and ideologies, especially all of the isms. These come from our critical parts. So, racism, sexism, ageism, ableism, all of the isms. There's so many out there. So with these isms come from our critical part, of course, and with these they come perceived threats. That's where the protector part comes in. Critical says these isms or these attitudes, these ideologies are right or wrong, whatever. And then protector swoops in because if our attitudes and ideologies aren't matched with reality, we have to protect ourselves or something external. Or if someone's challenging our attitudes and ideologies, our protector part sees that as a threat as well.
Okay.
So just a quick little reminder. Attitudes and ideologies aren't diagnosable. Asshole, racist, sexist, political leanings, etc., aren't diagnosable. These aren't symptoms. These are attitudes. These are ideologies. So you can't kill an idea, which comes from, of course, so many references in the past. I'll just use V for Vendetta because that's off the top of my head. You can't kill an idea. But this is, if we look at, American history with so many different revolutionary histories, so on and so forth, it's all about the idea of what peace, what freedom, all of these things are. And again, these are attitudes and ideologies. So if my idea of freedom is being challenged, my protector part's going to go, woof, we got to deal with this. This is bad. So isms are really insidious because you can't kill an idea. You have to kill the entire population that holds that idea, which is why racism, sexism, all of these things get passed down and passed through so much. I mean, if you kill a person like, Hitler died, he killed himself, but look at Nazism. Yeah. Did it die? No.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
Sure didn't.
Yeah.
They'd call it something different now, but.
Yeah. I was going to make a snarky comment, but let me move on.
You can always make it. I can always cut it out.
Yeah. I'm going to move on. Let me move on.
Let's do it.
So, there is also a very fine line between attitudes and ideologies, especially the more fringe ones, and delusions. But I want to take a moment to step on a soapbox. If you are not a licensed mental health professional sanctioned by a state board to diagnose and treat mental health disorders, don't make proclamations about others' mental health statuses or diagnoses because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yep. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Of course, that comes from my critical part, my protector part, my logical and responsible parts even.
Yeah.
Like, if you are not a mental health professional, then you don't really know what you're talking about. You might have ideas, just like I might have ideas about dabbling in finances or a stock market. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a financial planner. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, of course. Yeah. I mean, if you want to really be a professional or really train in that, go for it, please. But don't be an armchair quarterback. Anyway.
Yeah.
So let me dive a little bit deeper into how protector parts deal with attitudes and ideologies being challenged. But I'm going to start this with a quote from The Hateful Eight. I love Quentin Tarantino movies. And The Hateful Eight is such a good one. We watched that again recently. We should really have all of these on DVD or Blu-ray or something like that, but we don't. Whatever.
Or when your internet goes down and you can't use your streaming service like last week.
That's right. Exactly. Yes. Yes. So there's the scene in The Hateful Eight in the first quarter of the movie where they meet Walton Goggins' character. Oh, I love Walton Goggins. He's great.
So great.
Yeah. So he's playing a Southern soldier, you know, fresh off the Civil War, you know, salty about it, blah, blah, blah. And then he meets up with Kurt Russell's character, Samuel L. Jackson's character, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. Of course, I know these names because I just watched this movie. I looked up the IMDb, all of this stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. So Walton Goggins' character gets in this little stagecoach that they're in, and he's talking about how of course, he killed a bunch of black people in the war and so on and so forth. And just in case you haven't seen The Hateful Eight, it's very, very, it's so good. But it's
on my list for sure.
Yeah, watch it. But there's so many instances of using the N-word. Of course, it's historically accurate and all of these things. But
hard to hear, though.
It is kind of hard to hear, especially in certain contexts. Mm-hmm. So Walton Goggins' character says, and this is straight out of his protector part, "'Cause when N-words are scared, that's when white folks are safe."
Oh.
Right?
Shit.
You're right, yeah. That is very point blank obvious, his protector part. And that, to me, really underscores the entirety of the racist narrative.
Yep.
Because white folks is not safe unless black folks are scared. Mm-hmm. Right? Just before we move on, any thoughts about that?
That's, yeah, well, now I really want to see that movie. That's just what we're seeing. It just hit me because it's what we're seeing in the world today.
Absolutely. And I can see you're kind of emotional about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are you noticing your protector part right now?
I don't know. What's my protector part doing?
Could be very pissed off that this attitude and ideology even exists.
Yeah, I'm definitely pissed off about that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know it existed. I know it still does.
Yes.
But I guess what you're not confronted with it in that term that strongly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every day. At least we're not. They are.
Right. That's right. I can imagine that several parts of you are activated by this, which would make sense.
Yeah.
And I could totally sense your protector part being like, this is fucked up because this attitude and ideology is dangerous to people of color. It is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes these attitudes and ideologies, these isms, so insidious, because it's not just an attitude and ideology. It is dangerous to other people.
Right.
Clearly, we're both women.
Yeah.
If we want to work up in the world and get into, positions of high authority, then that can be dangerous in and of itself, just trying to climb that corporate ladder. Mm-hmm. So sexism is pretty dangerous. And if other people, dudes, women even, non-binary people of whatever, and if they see like, oh, well, you're a woman and you shouldn't be climbing up the ladder, then that gets even more dangerous, because their protector part's going to come and be like, I have to stop this. Protector parts see all of these challenges to these attitudes and ideologies as a threat, perceived threat, of course. Because if I have to say, well, this woman is in a higher position than me, and I think women need to be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant, then this is a direct challenge. This is a direct threat to my what I think my way of life, the way I want it to be. So looping back around to our critical and kid parts, wanting and not wanting things, protector part will work off of that as well. If we look at little kids, 2, 3-year-olds, and they want something and they can't get it, what do? They throw themselves on the floor, they flail around, they start hitting. It's their protector part trying to get what they want. It's their critical part also trying to get what they want. Of course, this is on a spectrum, people freaking out or reacting to not getting what they want. I mean, some people can be like, yeah, okay, well, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Cool, maybe next time. Mm-hmm. Or, some people have an attitude like, well, I'm going to look at life like a video game. If I go through challenges, I may not want these challenges. And my protector part be like, well, not getting all these things I don't want's a threat. But I'm going to see it as more experience points. I'm just leveling up in life. Mm-hmm. And these are great attitudes to have. And this is on the healthier end of the spectrum. But going back to these attitudes and ideologies and people acting on them, this is where tactics of abuse, power and control stuff come from. So I'm going to just do a deep dive into this really quick. Not really quick, but when our protector parts are so burdened by lots of little kid parts that are burden critical parts, the more aggressive they tend to get. And that's not just physically aggressive, it's relationally aggressive, it's aggressive in society, like with how I'm going to pursue my career or whatever. Just aggressive with, this is what I want and I don't give a fuck about how anyone else feels or thinks about it. So when this happens, this really is protector part saying the best defense is a good offense. Yep. If I can get ahead of this, or if I can put myself in a position to stay ahead of this, then I'm better off. And so, again, this is where abuse, power, and control comes from. It's to get what you want and to avoid what you don't want. So getting into positions of power and authority, like the police, surgeons, doctors, lawyers, and judges. There's so many other professions, but off the top of my head, those are the ones that people really tend to gravitate toward if they want power and control. Because if they have that authority, then I am above the law. We see that a lot too, especially the more rulings or whatever that say, yeah, you do have impunity because you're in this position. Do we want people in positions of authority and power to have impunity? No, we don't. It's not safe for us, for one, and our freedoms get taken away more that way. So it's not free or safe. I'm just kind of referencing, the prior episode that we did.
Yeah.
So the more people tend to embrace the tactics of abuse and want that power and control, the more they're going to employ those tactics of abuse, depending on, their relationships or whatever. And this is where we get the cycle of violence. So I'm just going to step aside really quick and explain the cycle of violence. So that's basically when you first meet someone new, what's great, it's the honeymoon phase, or they're charming, they're wonderful. And then, the newness wears off and things start feeling kind of tense, kind of weird, and things start getting more escalated as far as, emotions, stress, tensions. And then all of a sudden there's some sort of violent outburst, whether, someone's throwing things or hitting someone, there's just violent outburst. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. My temper got the best of me, or I was just so impassioned by this, blah, 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 excuse. And then it's back to the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is shorter this time. And then, the stress, the tension building starts going sooner. And then there's an explosion again. You just pissed me off so bad. And you made me hit you. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, the next day, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was just so mad. Blah. And then eventually the cycle just gets shorter and shorter to where it was just the tension building and the explosion. Because protector part says, well, I don't have to put on a face anymore. That face, like, oh, I was so charming and so wonderful in the beginning. Well, I don't have to put that face on anymore. I had to get this relationship. But now I don't. Now I can just be the person that I am. And as soon as this other person I'm abusing challenges who I think I am, or whatever, there's another explosion. And there could be violence constantly throughout the day because of this.
I imagine it also has, and maybe this is what you're saying, but like the first time the abuser gets away with it, in that the other person doesn't leave, then they're like, oh, that worked. I'm going to try that again and again and again.
That's right.
Because I know it worked.
That's right. And protector parts are very much like that. If this worked before, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to double down. I'm going to triple down, even if logically it's not working anymore. But this worked then. It better work again now. That's all I know. I'm going to keep doing it. Protector parts get to be more automatic. We all have automatic parts of self, and that really comes from the deeper parts of the brain that control our regulation, like our heart beating, our breathing, but it's also involved with muscle memory. So like if we get in a car, our bodies just kind of start automatically doing their thing. So automatic, like I like to call them autopilot parts. They live within us too. Protector parts, not quite an autopilot part, but can get into that rut. So, for example, like if one of my go-to defense mechanisms is I'm just going to tune everything out and focus on my phone, I'm just going to start scrolling and just block everything out. And if that's something that's very ingrained in me, as soon as I start feeling uncomfortable, I'm going to do that. If my husband wants to have a deep conversation, oh, I'm on my phone. Oh, I can't do that right now. If I'm in a crowd, I'm on my phone. And it just gets to be so automatic that we don't even realize that's what we're doing. Like, oh, I'm on my phone again. My goodness. So this is a big kind of driver of how protector parts gets into these like tactics of power and control and tactics of abuse. It gets to be automatic, especially if this is something that people started learning when they were like 2 years old, 3 years old. And this is when people do learn these tactics of abuse. Every toddler who throws a tantrum just kind of innately uses some of these tactics of abuse. And if a parent or both parents or a caregiver doesn't, rein this in, redirect, guide, so on and so forth, this is going to continue throughout this person's life. There are so many more things I want to say about that, but I think that's another episode.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, that we could do a whole episode, maybe even series on abuse.
Yeah.
Because like what you were just saying, the toddler that does this and then moves into doing it as an adult, especially if they are abused when they're little. That's a whole different type of cycle of abuse than what you just described. And that's important too. So yeah, that's for a later date, which will be a tough subject, but worth covering, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So really, if we look at all these tactics of abuse, and if we put it very basically, it is to get what we want and to avoid what we don't want. If I want a relationship and I want to avoid that person leaving me, then I'm going to keep them abused. I'm going to keep them isolated. I'm going to keep them feeling like they can't get any better than me because I don't want them gone. And you know what? If I can't have them, no one else can. This is where murder-suicide comes from a lot. This is where
it gets very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it gets dangerous, yes. So this really is, again, protector part saying the best defense is a good offense. So I'm just going to loop back around to when I was saying in the last episode, if someone's critical part's in the driver's seat, the only thing that critical part is going to hear is your critical part. Do that if it's just their critical part. That's great. But if it's their critical part and protector part in the driver's seat together, then I don't know if bringing your critical part to the forefront is going to be helpful for you. That might make things worse for you. So in that case, the best line of defense you have against someone who's critical and protector dominant is just to avoid them as much as possible. If you cannot have a relationship with them, probably for the better. If it's a parent, a sibling, a boss, someone you have to work with, keep it as, I don't know, pleasant, superficial, and brief as you can. That'll be for another episode as well, probably the domestic violence series or tactics of abuse or whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. If it's not safe to bring your critical part to the forefront, don't do it. That's my protector part trying to keep you safe. Your protector part's going to be like, maybe you don't want to do this. Listen to your protector part. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a little bit. Not going to be as deep here on out the rest of this episode. So another part that protector part ropes in is logical part. I got to back up, though. It's critical part really that ropes in protector.
Okay.
Protector will rope in critical, but it's usually critical roping in protector.
Okay.
So if protector does rope in a part, it's usually logical. Logical because it helps to create logical defense mechanisms and to justify behaviors, attitudes, ideologies, so on and so forth. So logical is there to back up protector. Whereas if it's critical driving the show, protector is there to back up critical. So if it's a logical defense mechanism, basically saying, if this does not make logical sense, then I have to dismiss it or refute it or whatever. And so if I'm working with a client who's got like logical defense mechanisms, then they're like, I understand logically what you're saying, but this doesn't make sense here. And there's a lot of emotion going on over there. And I don't really have time for emotion. I don't want to deal with emotion. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because that's logical part's MO. If it's too emotional, it's like, nope, that's not for me.
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm out, indeed. So that's basically the logical defense mechanism part. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But if protector is using logical to justify things, well, that's, again, where the abuse perpetuates. Well, you made me this way. You made me hit you. That's logical part justifying it. There's other more nuanced things that logical does to justify not just abuse, but like, I was justified in how I was feeling because it was an injustice. Well, yeah, it was an injustice, but maybe you were being a dick about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe there's a better way to handle that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So instead of logical being like, well, maybe there was a better way to handle it, it's like, no, there wasn't injustice, so this was the right way to do it. Critical part will come in and do that as well. But logical is the one that is usually propped up by protector to do that. Mm-hmm. So when I'm not going to get too deep into this because this is also probably going to be part of the domestic violence or abuse series, whatever.
I was just starting to take some notes because I'm like, there are things I want to make sure we talk about when we talk about that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to forget. Mm-hmm. I know I'm going to watch this over and over again as I edit it, but I don't know that it's going to trigger it in my brain the way it did just now. So I'm going to jot some notes down.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So talking about how protector interacts with these other parts, when protector gets on a roll, nurturing part is not allowed to do their job, especially when protector and critical parts get on a roll. Critical and nurturing parts are pretty opposite. Mm-hmm. So when protector part really steps to the forefront, there's no time for nurturing. Mm-hmm. Like, say, for example, your kid's playing ball and the ball rolls out in the street. Kid runs out in the street and there's a car coming. You run out, no, get out of the street, blah! And you just shove the kid out of the street and you're like, why were you doing that? And it's like, there's no nurturing there. It's just critical, or not critical, it's protector just reacting. Mm-hmm. There's no time for nurturing there. And then when the kid's safe, oh, baby, I'm so happy you're okay. I didn't mean to shove you. I was just making sure you're not getting hit by a car. Don't play in the street again, please. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's no time for nurturing when protector is really at the forefront. But when protector and critical get together, they shove nurturing part way to the back of the bus, even off the bus on a caboose.
Yeah.
And that's when the abuse really starts getting bad. Because if there's no nurturing part involved, then there's no like, oh, how's this other person doing with this? How am I feeling about treating this person this way? Yes. So I'm just kind of also looping back around to, I was trying to make a point in the last episode. When protector and critical tag team and there's no room for nurturing, that's when things start getting evil. That was what we would consider evil, or what a major religion would consider evil. Mm-hmm. Rape, abuse, lying, cheating, stealing, murder. Mm-hmm. I could go on. Mm-hmm. Torture, so on and so forth. So we don't want our protector part to shove nurturing to the back of the bus or even off the bus. That's not good. We want to keep our nurturing parts to make sure that what we're doing is healthy and balanced. So if we look at someone who is just critical and protector dominant, no nurturing to be found, usually that's where we get people with antisocial personality disorder. Mm. Everybody is temporarily capable of their nurturing part going out the window and their protector and even critical taking over. But again, temporarily. Mm-hmm. When someone is consistently without that nurturing part, again, scary stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so again, we'll save the rest of that deep stuff for another episode. On the flip side, if protector props up nurturing and says, nurturing, you're at the forefront, this is where things go bad too, for us especially, because we're enabling, we're doormats, we're coddling, we're excusing, we're shielding, we're avoiding. And how this looks is basically, if I'm a parent and I have a kid who's a toddler now, and it's like, no, I want it my way, and am I mad at you, mommy, kind of stuff. Well, my nurse is like, oh, sweetheart, it's okay. Let's get you what you want. Mm. Oh, it's okay. Don't be mad at me. You can have this. Oh, no, Dad was just being mean to you. He's not trying to tell you you're doing it wrong. You're perfect. You know what I'm saying? This is where we get people with narcissistic personality disorder. Mm. It's just that enable. There's nothing wrong with you. It's okay. It's his problem. Mm-hmm. This is also where we get a hammer and a marshmallow sort of dynamic with parents. The dad is, or usually I'm stereotyping, the dad is usually, son, you got to do better, or daughter, you got to do better, or whatever, and get your grades up, and I'm going to beat your ass if you step out of line, and blah, blah, blah. And then the mom, usually I'm stereotyping, comes in, oh, no, don't worry about him. He was just mad from work, and he's blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. That's such a dangerous dynamic, too, because that perpetuates this attitude and ideology. Well, there's nothing wrong with me. If I get in trouble, it's not my fault. Mm.
Yeah, because they've learned early on to blame someone else because their
that's right.
authority figure, quote unquote, their parent told them that's how you do it.
That's right. Yep.
Interesting.
And if both parents are enabling like that, then it's even worse. Because if there's a hammer and a marshmallow dynamic, parts of the kid start feeling shame and all of this stuff. I'm not good enough. I'm bad. I can't do anything right. I'm a failure. But then the other parts that were propped up by the enabler, yeah, I'm fine. It's not me. It's your fault. You're the one making me feel this way. Mm. But if it's both parents, yeah, you're perfect. You're the blah, blah, blah. Then there's no real shame. Yeah. There's nothing really holding them back. They're just emboldened. Mm-hmm. To do whatever the fuck they want. Mm-hmm. That gets scary, too.
That's scary for the rest of us who have to deal with that person.
That's right. Yep. I don't know how many teachers that you talk with, but I've got a few clients that are teachers right now, and it's usually the same theme of the kids are great, except for a handful who won't listen to instructions. They won't listen to details like, how do you do this, or what do I expect on a grade? And then the parents are just enabling them. Well, why won't you grade my kid's thing? Well, it's not turned in even. Mm-hmm. Sure it is. Yeah, it is. Blah, blah, blah. And, so there's a lot of tension in schools these days because of this dynamic.
Yeah.
Have you heard of anything like that?
I have. I don't know any teachers currently, people that are currently teaching. Mm-hmm. But I do know just from like stories I've heard and true crime documentaries and things like that, that there seems to be a much greater then from when I was young, a much greater need for parents to compete against each other with their children.
No, geez.
So like, on the ball field or whatever, you don't play my kid enough. You treat my kid wrong to the coach. You don't let my kid, because I feel like they're, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems to me like it's not just protecting their kid, but it's also protecting their level within the other parents. If my kid's the best one on the field, or if my kid's the one that got the best math score, I get to be all pompous about it. Whereas when I was a kid, our parents didn't even know that we were on a team.
Right.
Oh, you're a cheerleader? Okay, cool. They didn't care. And now I think now that millennials are parents, it feels like there's a lot more of that now than there used to be.
Yeah, I think you're right. Protecting their reputation, how they feel about themselves, living vicariously through their kids. I mean, what else are they protecting from your perspective?
Well, I think they're also protecting the child.
Okay.
Because the child also wants to be the best, probably because they feel like they have to, because that's what's expected from their parent.
That's right.
So, yeah, I do remember from when I was young, there being parents that were honestly protecting their child, not just doing it for greater gain, but for like really thinking, oh, my child's getting bullied or something like that. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, wow, there's so much going on with just that dynamic alone that we can dive into that in a whole episode as well. It's kind of gross, especially in like smaller towns or more like tighter knit communities. Like
Everybody
I know there's
knows
a lot
everybody,
and
the generations of those people know each other, and that family has to be on top, otherwise the whole community will crumble.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, those dynamics are just kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, even in cities, even like in the Twin Cities, I know there's lots of different suburbs and neighborhoods and that kind of stuff. I can imagine there's little enclaves of that sort of stuff going on.
Absolutely. Especially in the suburbs, I think, more so than in the inner cities. But yeah.
For sure. So protector part really drives so many things, even if we don't even realize it, especially with these sort of dynamics. So another thing about protector putting nurturing at the forefront is it's not protecting us in the long run. It is in the short run by keeping the peace. Well, if there's any sort of tension, well, I'm going to come in and just make sure everyone feels okay. So it's safer this way. I'd rather you be mad at me than mad at each other, because at least we're not going to go to fisticuffs when you might. So really nurturing part is propped up by protector to protect in the immediate sort of situation. But in the long run, all that does is destroy essentially the person who's doing all this nurturing and enabling. Because that person who's doing all this nurturing and enabling isn't allowed to be themselves. If they're expected to be the peacemaker and to be the coddler and treat everyone with like, oh, it's okay. And as soon as that doesn't happen, well, then the other person's protector part's like, what the fuck's going on here? And the critical part too, like, this isn't right. This needs to happen so it's safer. And so people really don't like it when the enabler stops enabling. This also contributes to a distancer-pursuer dynamic in intimate relationships. So the person who's the nurturing, propped up by their protector part, is usually the pursuer. Oh, how was your day? And what do you want to do? And what do you want for supper? And I already made you supper. What sort of cocktail do you want to go along with that? Leave me alone, woman. I just got back from work. Oh, I had stress all day and people asking me shit. Just get off my ass. Oh, I'm just trying to help you. And that's an extreme example, of course, but distancer pursuer, like, eventually this drives a wedge between people. In the nurturing part's pursuit at, protector part's behest to keep things together, things fall apart. So again, long run, nurturing part propped up by protector is not the best thing to do for anybody, really, especially yourself. There's a whole book. This came out in the 80s called Women Who Love Too Much, basically about this whole dynamic.
I remember when that book came out.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Did you read it?
No,
That's a good
I
one.
didn't.
It's okay.
I probably went, that's probably me, so.
Oh. Oh man, Let's move on from that. So, so I'm gonna get kind of deep again. So sometimes there are protector parts that say suicide is the only option. And logically, it's quite counterintuitive. But to this protector part, things are so bad, things are so painful, there's no future to be seen, that the best thing for self-protection is to end it. Like, just put me out of my misery sort of thinking. Mm-hmm. And when this sort of deal happens, I found that this protector part will just take over all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Usually after lurking in the background for a while, like you have some gnawing thoughts, some suicidal ideation, just like, maybe it'd be better off to just end it. Or maybe, it'd be better if you just didn't wake up today. Or maybe it'd be better if you weren't born. Way in the back of your head, like just gnawing at you. And that's manageable. That's all well and good. Is that part's not trying to annihilate you. That part's just trying to get you out of, again, your misery. And so after being in the background for so long, or even not even that long, something happens that's so triggering to this protector part, it just takes over the driver's seat all of a sudden at all of the rest of the part's horror, even at the self's horror of like, whoa, what the fuck? We can't have this, don't do it. And then it's too late. Because that protector part just took over and it's over.
That's really interesting because I just watched a documentary. And we can cut this if you think it doesn't make sense with what you're saying. But I just watched a documentary about a woman who was found dead in her apartment, stabbed.
Oh.
And it was ruled a suicide.
Okay.
And everybody who knew her was like, there's no way she would kill herself. She was about to get married. She was super excited. She had some anxiety in her life. She hated her job. But she wasn't suicidal. She'd never told anybody she was suicidal. And so the whole show is trying to figure out, did she actually kill herself?
Right.
Or was she murdered? Mm-hmm. And I have my own thoughts, which I don't have to share, but I will say that they had a psychologist or psychiatrist on explaining how you don't always know. Even if you're super, super close to somebody, you don't know what their thoughts were. And also, when that thought comes, it comes fast and they act on it real quick. They don't call their friends and say, do you think I should do this?
That's right.
It happens very quickly.
Yep.
And so she was saying it could have been a suicide.
It could have. That's right. Because, and this is where a lot of people in suicide prevention don't like to talk about or admit, there's not much you can do to prevent it in that moment. The only thing that really stops someone in that moment is an external thing that actually stops them. Mm-hmm. So someone might be getting ready to, off themselves, and then in comes their roommate all of a sudden. Oh, I'm back from my date early. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Good to see you. And the roommate doesn't even know what was about to transpire. Right. But they didn't do it because there's someone there. Someone thwarted that protector part from jumping in the driver's seat. Mm-hmm. I've had clients who have told me, I work with a lot of trauma. So a lot of clients I've had have had suicidal ideations, attempts even, so on and so forth. And several clients have told me, in these moments, it's like they are looking back from, their perspective as looking at themselves like it's a whole nother person. Wow. Because they're not in the driver's seat. That part that took over is in the driver's seat. And that part is so removed, essentially, from everything else. It's like a whole nother person. They're seeing themselves. Wow. So suicide prevention really is getting this person's support system more intact, getting someone that they can rely on consistently. Other people, the quality of the relationships, that's suicide prevention. If they have depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of the above, getting some proper help for all of that would be good. I can say antidepressants help, but they don't all the time. And sometimes it's counterintuitive where if the person's suicidal and they started taking an antidepressant, they're going to be more energized to end it.
Oh, okay.
Because if someone's so depressed, they don't even have energy to get out of bed or barely eat, all that kind of stuff. As soon as they start taking an antidepressant, they get more energy. Oh, I might as well end it now because I can't. So there's always like these warnings on antidepressants about that. So sometimes, though, our protector parts don't just take over. They talk with logical parts like, listen, this is bad. There's no way out of this. Like people with terminal illnesses or whatever. This is where we get like medically assisted dying or assisted suicide come from. And a lot of the time people think, oh, you shouldn't do that. We need to preserve life as it is. Well, if I'm in a fucking coma and I'm in a vegetative state, just fucking kill me, please.
Exactly. Yep.
I don't want to be alive for that. That's not me.
Right. That's why it's important to get your living will, or they used to call it. I don't think they call it that anymore. We just did one for my mom, where you get to say now ahead of time what you want to happen if you can't speak and if you're in that state.
Yes.
So that your wishes are made. So just so
Absolutely.
PSA, do that, people. Get that done.
Get an advance directive. Get a psychiatric advance directive done, too, in case you're in a mental health crisis.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yep. And if you get a psychiatric advance directive, put on there no ECTs, no electroconvulsive therapy. They still do that. Don't do it.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
I'm surprised they don't still shoot the stick through the eyeball like they used to.
Yeah.
We should do a whole episode on crazy old methods in psychology and psychiatry because there's some very
doozies,
very creepy shit.
Absolutely, yeah. We could do a whole episode just on lobotomies. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and hysterectomies too.
Oh, right. Because the women are hysterical. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll save that for another episode.
We got so many topics to cover.
Oh, God. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to use another pop culture example. I don't know if you watched The Last of Us on HBO. We haven't seen the second season yet, but the first one's really good.
I want to.
Oh, it's good. There's an episode where...
Spoiler alert.
Nick Offerman's in it, and there's a couple episodes, but there's one episode where he and the guy who plays his husband, essentially, it's a whole episode of just them and how they meet and all of these things. And then I'm not trying to do a spoiler, but basically the husband has a condition where he's like, I can't keep going on like this, and they basically have a suicide pact. So the husband's like, I can't keep doing this, and then Nick Offerman's character is like, all right, let's go out together. And so that's protector and logical, saying, yeah, my husband's, he can't keep doing this. It's more compassionate to do it this way. Oh, nurturing parts involved too, obviously.
Yeah.
But I can't live without him. I don't want to do it without him. It'd be better for me to go out with him as well. So this is all protector part really driving the bus there. So at the heart of everything I'm talking about, there's so many examples of every single one of us being in protection mode so often. We are all in protection mode basically all the time. And when we're in protection mode all the time, it really interferes with us having healthy relationships. It disconnects us. But it also adds to us being in unhealthy relationships. It's connecting us in not good ways. Like if we look at like social engagement on social media, well, what gets the clicks and the revenues and the algorithms? It's the rage bait, essentially. And so we're all engaging in these ways that are protector parts and critical parts are all in the driver's seat. I know there's some recent things that really have been driving this in social media, which we don't need to get into, but it's like we're so disconnected. Like I look at social media, I want to connect with my friends on there, but then I see this rage bait bullshit and I'm like, fuck that. I want to just delete my Facebook. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Of course, that's my
Facebook is a cesspool.
It is, yeah. So, I mean, of course, that's my critical part. My protector part is like, yeah, maybe we should get off Facebook because this is stupid. It's not helping me.
Protecting your mental health by getting off. Yeah.
That's right.
For sure.
Yes. So what we got to do, since we're all in protection mode, especially when things can get so dark with abuse and suicide, and things get even darker, because I haven't even talked to you about perpetrator introjects or dark parts of self that attack the self because they're protector parts or attacking the wrong thing. That'll be another episode too.
Okay.
So because we're so disconnected or connected in the wrong ways, what we really got to do is just take a step back. Really bring our logical part to the forefront. We need to reevaluate what is going on with my parts of self and what are all these perceived threats. First of all, because, this stuff on social media, unless it's, a death threat, this does happen, unless it's an actual, real threat, something that's going to hurt or kill you or people that you love, these are all perceived threats, of course. So asking myself, what are these perceived threats? Is this old shit? Is this stuff from when I was in middle school and I'm not over it? Is it negative cognitions, I'm not good enough, I can't amount to anything, I'm not safe even? That's a negative cognition, even though it's based on reality most of the time. Is this an immediate stress or threat that I need to take care of? No, it's really not. Okay. Is this something that can be problem solved? Sure. So a lot of the time when our protector part's in the driver's seat, we have to recognize that and be like, listen, protector, you're doing a great job, but what are we actually protecting against? And this is just really to reevaluate these perceived threats. The benefits of doing this sort of self-reflection, especially letting your logical part lead the self-reflection, there's so many benefits to this. Your relationships are going to get better. You're going to have less stress, more peace. You're going to have better decision-making skills. You're going to have fewer inner conflicts, more inner peace, which is also very good. And then essentially, we're going to work toward thriving rather than surviving, because that's all protector cares about is surviving. Logical, responsible, critical, nurturing kid, those are all about thriving. Protector part just wants to survive.
Okay.
So if I look into my parts of self and I look at my parts, which I do, I see my protector part. She's usually just kind of sitting back, just looking on the phone or because I don't have that many perceived threats like I used to. I've worked through a lot of negative cognitions, past junk, blah, blah, blah. And so each time you knock out a negative cognition, each time you deal with something from the past, your protector part's going to be able to relax more and more.
Nice.
Yeah. Which means you are relaxed more and more.
Yeah.
So if there is actually something we need to protect against, like there are some unhealthy people out there, we have unhealthy relationships, our protector part does need to act. But if we don't have all these internal things that we have to deal with anymore, then we can really say, well, let me set a boundary. Okay, Felicia, you don't get to talk to me like that. Please treat me with respect and we'll be good. If you keep treating me with disrespect, calling me names, whatever, we're not going to be talking anymore. We're not going to be friends anymore. That's what protector parts really should be doing. Is this a very assertive, listen, you don't get to treat me like that kind of stuff with other people. And then protector parts for ourselves, well, going over there is going to be dangerous because it's, I don't know, a biker gang bar. You don't want to go to a biker gang bar. I don't know. I was just throwing it out there. So protector parts will also do a lot of self boundaries, like what I'm willing or not willing to do. For example, my husband's not willing to do skydiving or bungee jumping or anything like that, whereas I am.
Neither am I. Chris and I can sit and watch you.
I love it. Yes.
And we'll be wringing our hands.
Exactly.
I wish I wanted to do that because it seems like it would be quite a thrill, but I am too scared of something going wrong.
Oh, I get it.
There's no way I could have fun.
Yeah. And that's your protector part. Exactly. Yep. My protector part is going to check, make sure all these connections are good. This looks sturdy. This feels sturdy. Okay, I'm good to go. I trust a professional. As long as it looks and feels okay. I am going to check that out. That's my protector part, of course. But there's no real or perceived threat there other than in case something goes horrifically wrong, of course. And my logical part says, well, what's the likelihood of that? Pretty low. You're fine. Go have fun. And my kid part's like, yeah! Of course, I'm getting old. My body can't handle it like it used to. I can't do roller coasters anymore, unfortunately. But
the last time I did a roller coaster was not great.
Yeah.
I can't spin around and, have that quick movement in my head anymore. I used to love that shit. The tilt-a-whirl.
Yes.
That was my favorite thing. And the caterpillar. I think it was called, the black one, or the spider or something. It went up and down as it spun and was doing all of the. Oh, I love that. Last time I went on there, I'm like, oh dear.
Yes.
My brain was scrambled for a while.
Honestly, I'm feeling a little nauseous just thinking about that. That's where my body goes. No, it's okay. That's where my body goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, my protector part's like, I know you love this shit, but your body can't handle it. If you want to puke, go for it. But if you don't. So again, all of these things, really, our protector part doesn't want to be so engaged. Our protector part wants to be able to sit back and relax and let the rest of the parts take care of it.
Yeah.
Protector part, of course, will jump in when it's needed, but protector part doesn't want to jump in for everything because you think it's needed. Mm-hmm. Chill out. Chilling out means, again, working on these past issues, the past traumas, the burdened parts of self, especially kid parts, the negative cognition, so on and so forth. Working on these internal things is really going to help your protector part and your external things. Life is simpler, life is easier most of the time when you don't have so much inner turmoil and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Protector part invariably does not want to work so hard, but feels like they have to. So, if I'm going to wrap up with anything, is give your protector part a break. Mm-hmm. Do some self-care. Take a bath. Read a good book. Watch a funny movie. Mm-hmm. Spend some time with friends. Reconnect. Reconnect with yourself. Mm-hmm. Give your protector part a break. It will thank you.
I love that.
This Way In is a conversation about mental health and everyday well-being, but it is not therapy. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapist-client relationship, and the information we share is for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you are feeling overwhelmed or struggling with your mental health, please reach out to a qualified professional in your area. Never delay, disregard, or change professional recommendations or advice because of something you heard here. And please remember that any views expressed here are our own and don't represent any licensing boards. This Way In is co-produced by Brittney Baxter-Dameron and me, Amy Lotsberg, at Collected Sounds Media. I also edit and manage the show, which is part of the Collected Sounds Independent Podcast Network.